Welcome again everybody to another haunting musical adventure in time travel. Today I'm going to discuss some interesting lyre playing techniques which are used in my 10 albums of ancient lyre music, which can be found all on iTunes. If you type in Michael Levy Lyre on Google, about 20,000 results will pop up. But if you want a quick way to find all my stuff, please look at my website www.ancientlyre.com. That's the plug out the way with. Anyway, back to the lyre. The lyre I'm playing is actually a replica of the type of lyre played in the Temple of Jerusalem by my very own, very ancient Levite ancestors to accompany the singing of the Levitical choir. But this being said, it's almost identical to the ancient Greek kithara. That was the large wooden lyre favoured by the professional musicians of ancient Greece. And on a Greek sort of theme, coming up after I've had this little talk, I'm going to do a spontaneous, unplanned improvisation on the Ancient Greek Dorian Mode. First of all, what is the Ancient Greek Dorian Mode? You mustn't confuse it with the medieval Dorian Mode. Due to a massive cock-up in the Middle Ages, some medieval scholar, presumably sloshed on me at the time, went and gave all the Greek modes the wrong Greek names, and was stuck with this terminology to the present day. The ancient Greek Dorian mode was the equivalent intervals of E to E on the white notes of the piano, whereas the medieval Dorian mode is the equivalent intervals as D to D. But this was the favourite mode of the ancient Greeks, according to the writings of Plato and Aristotle. When played quietly and slowly, it could increase concentration, but when played quickly, it could even increase the feeling of valour and bravery in battle. And having played it myself, I can see what they mean. It's quite an amazing mode. Anyway, that's the actual mode going to be playing in. What about the ancient lyre playing techniques and how on earth did I derive them? Because there aren't many ancient Greeks that can tell me what to do. Well, the best way I sought to acquire my ancient lyre playing techniques is look to Africa, where the lyre has been played continuously since antiquity, unlike sadly in the Western world where it hasn't been played for over 1,000 years. Lots of different types of lyres are still played in Africa. In Ethiopia we have the begina, a 10-string bass lyre. In Eritrea we have the krar, K-R-A-R, which is very similar to this lyre, almost in shape and size. We'll start with the lyre playing technique practiced in Eritrea on the krar. This is string blocking, an incredible technique where you can actually strum rhythm on the lyre like a guitar. What you do, it's like the reverse of a guitar actually. You actually block strings you don't want to play and leave open the strings you do want to play. Quite mind-bending at first. This sort of effect. Like the notes I'm leaving open here are E, A, E, so it gives a nice sort of drone. And if I want to play melody notes, I simply move fingers out the way, like this. And then you can strum really interesting rhythm patterns like on a guitar. What I like to do as well, you can also add like a wah-wah pedal as your strumming rhythm. Sort of do that against the bridge, sort of adjust the length of the note with your hand. Adds quite a bit of interest. I'm sure some ancient Greeks sloshed on some of their own potions might have tried doing some of these things. Back to other ancient lyre playing techniques. On the Simsimia in Port Said in Africa, Egypt, although that's part of the African continent, what they do is lots of tremolo effects, this sort of thing. In my playing I use tremolo on either melody notes, but what I like to do most of all is play like a drone in the bass and play above that, like this sort of effect. thing. Another technique I derive from illustrations of ancient Greek kithara players. These clearly show the left hand of the player behind the strings and the plectrum in the right hand. Now this can mean one of three things. Some of the textbooks I've read by people who've never actually played the lyre suggest that the left hand was to dampen the strings, just like a technique in harp playing where to dampen unwanted vibration, because on the harp, if you don't dampen the strings, it sounds like a piano with the pedal on all the time. But however, this is very misguided thinking, because say these boffins have never actually played a lyre. Unlike the harp, there's virtually no unwanted sustain because the resonating body of the lyre is much smaller and the strings are shorter. So for example, without doing any string dampening, this is what it sounds like. There's absolutely no unwanted sustain. Almost no unwanted sustain at all. So what I think the left hand did was either to pluck simple intervals as an accompaniment, that sort of thing, or maybe to alternate between finger-plucked tones which sound harp-like and guitar-like tones with the plectrum, this sort of effect. So it sounds almost like two instruments at once. And you can do variations on that. For example, you can play in thirds coming down, and fourths. Contrary to popular sort of urban myth, I'm sure the ancients must have understood about basic harmonies, because in order to tune a lyre, you've got to know what certain intervals sound like at the same time, so they must have known about the different intervals and what they sounded like, particularly the fourths and the fifths. Very likely that they use simple fourths and fifths to accompany the melody being played with the plectrum. Another thing that the ancient Greeks did, they actually knew about accidentals as well, because lots of ancient Greek music theory is preserved. Now, to play accidentals on a diatonically tuned instrument is very tricky. You've actually got to shorten the length of the string by pressing the string. I use the nail of my finger to act as a fret on the string, this sort of thing. That sort of idea. So that's how it's possible to play accidentals on a diatonically strung lyre. The only trouble is with my so-called replica lyre, it has this massive big curve here. It's very hard to actually do the string blocking unless I literally take my hand over the top of this bar here, which is very awkward. But the ancient Greeks didn't have that problem because it was all set up in the right way. So please buy all my CDs so I can afford to get a nice, proper, authentic replica kithara, and I'll be sorted. Subtle hint. Anyway, please have a look at my website in the historical research section. My website www.ancientlyre.com, and all my albums are available on iTunes, Amazon MP3 store, and my CDs also available from my new Reverb Nation store. All 11 CDs in fact. As well as cdbaby.com. Anyway, enough waffle. Enjoy this mystical, unplanned improvisation. Listen to all these little lyre playing techniques I outlined. Bye for now. Bye.